The ending of the terminal list, Dark Wolf Episode 7, The Wolf You Feed, finds Ben pinning Haverford for his treasonous nuclear dealings with Iran. After it's all said and done, Ben is able to clear his name and those of his team, including Tal, Mo, and Landry, and a new opportunity arises to join the elite ground branch of the CIA. The terminal list, Dark Wolf Season 1 finale also sees the return of Chris Pratt's James Reese, who makes his first appearance since the Dark Wolf premiere episode. Ben's backstory after getting dishonorably discharged from the Navy SEALs was the primary focus of the sequel, but there is still a multitude of questions left unanswered that set up Dark Wolf Season 2. Perhaps the biggest revelation of the terminal list, Dark Wolf Season 1 finale was the fact that Ben was saved by Reese and half of Alpha Platoon, including Boozer, played by Jared Shaw. Knowing what's to come in the terminal list, with Ben being a part of the cover-up and conspiracy that began with the lethal ambush of Alpha Platoon, these details in Dark Wolf make his ultimate betrayal even more shocking and tragic. Ben's endgame plan to expose Haverford explained. Taylor Kitsch looking serious in the terminal list. In order to track Haverford down, Ben needed to put himself back on the grid so that Tal could pinpoint Haverford's location by getting through his VPN. Knowing that Haverford would be tracking the attack on Ben, Tal had what she needed to use her advanced hacking skills to find him and acquire the evidence that exposed Haverford as an American traitor. This is why Ben had to hold off the armed assailants for 15 minutes and keep the firefight going to ensure that Haverford was still tracking the assailants for the complete duration. If Ben had struck too early or aggressively, then Tal would have lost Haverford's signal, since he would no longer be tracking combat that was already over. Landry and Mo come in to take out two of the key players, Artem and Cyrus, in the Iranian nuclear dealings with Haverford. Cyrus orchestrated the plan with Haverford to deliver actual nuclear bearings to the Iranian Prime Minister, Youssef Saad, in Dark Wolf Episode 6. Artem was a middleman and financier of the Quds Force. Ben checkmates Haverford by dropping a file of evidence on the table as the police sirens start approaching. Tal accessed Haverford's treasonous messages with Iran and has proof that he coordinated the Quds Force attack on Ben and his team in Germany that nearly took Mo's life. In addition to this, Haverford admits to hiring the assassin who placed the car bomb on Ben's car. Ben was the target, but Eliza's blood is on Haverford's hands. Ben spares Haverford's life so that he won't be honored with a star at the CIA headquarters in Langley. He'll spend the rest of his days disgraced and remorseful behind bars. Why Haverford wanted to make Iran a nuclear threat. Haverford in the terminal list. Dark Wolf. Prime Video. In Dark Wolf Episode 6, Haverford discusses with Cyrus that making Iran a nuclear superpower would somehow create strength and stability in its relationship with the United States. Cyrus would become a national hero by possessing the bearings but doing nothing with them, making an international statement of peace. This was just the untrue angle that he shared with Cyrus and the Iranians to make it seem like he was on their side. In reality, Haverford wanted to make Iran a nuclear threat to the Western world so that the United States and its ally Israel would be forced to respond in the form of warfare. He resents Iran for being the solitary benefactor of American war tragedies, such as the 58,000 dead in Vietnam and the 1983 Marine barracks bombing in Lebanon, which resulted in the most Marine casualties in a single day since World War II. Haverford uses these mass American losses to justify his warmongering tactics. He is angry at the United States for not responding with full military force to these tragedies, claiming that the blame falls completely on Iran. Giving Iran nuclear capabilities would have started the war against them, first through Israel and eventually the United States, that he'd been waiting for most of his life. As Ben points out, Haverford's warped ideologies would have taken the lives of millions of innocent Iranians. Haverford was banking on several dominoes to fall in succession for this to actually work, including the US dropping its first atomic bomb since Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He's convinced that taking out Iran entirely would have prevented further terrorism. As Ben and any sane person would say, this was not the way to go about it. What's next for Ben and the CIA ground branch? Taylor Kitsch as Ben Edwards' side profile with blood on his face in the terminal list. Dark Wolf. Haverford may have been unhinged and traitorous, but he was correct in saying that he and Ben are somewhat alike, based on the reasons why Ben was dishonorably discharged after killing a CIA asset connected to ISIS. This defiance of authority and full-throttle belief in his convictions of right and wrong, many of which were expressed to Reese in his handwritten letter, are still brewing deep inside Ben. Rafe, who tried to expose Haverford through proper channels at Langley, is spot on about Ben fighting a war against himself over any particular enemy. This will continue to make him a wild card in Dark Wolf Season 2, which should make him a member of the CIA's elite ground branch after a visit from his old friend Hank Dashor, who is sure to become a Season 2 regular.